speaking of crazy and gruesome, let's just get into it here. All right. After injuries mount, this is going to be crazy. This is a weird one. This is actually a good follow-up to that. George Hulani emerges as and puts up high-end running back 2 numbers the second half of the year. Listen, This is one of those ones that makes absolutely no sense, but I saw the guy in the preseason. I liked his explosion. I liked the way he looked. And this is just me connecting dots with the fact that obviously Kenneth Walker is constantly injured. And all it's going to take is just one more injury to this slow plodding running back in front of him. And boom, George Hulani. Boom, George Hulani is in there like swimwear, and he's putting up RB2 numbers, and nobody even saw him coming. Boom.
I love how Matt has no middle ground. It's either like vanilla or like to the moon. There is no in between.
He's got that Shutter Island surprise ending. Like, you didn't even see it coming. You're like, wait, what a minute?
Can I be honest for a half second? It took me a few, I had to sit here for about 20 seconds and be like, what team is George Hulani on?
Yeah. It is the Seahawks. Listen, 9.2 yards per carry. I know it's only the preseason, but he had 12 attempts, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. And it's not just the numbers that really got me excited. It was the way he looked, because I saw him in a couple of these games. And the dude just looked decisive. He looked explosive. I think he's a great fit for this offense. And I'm not a big Zach Charbonnet guy. I think he's very upright, kind of slow, plodding guy. And I've always talked about him in that kind of manner. But I think this is going to be an awesome offense to run the ball. Obviously, Clint Kubiak is there as the offensive coordinator, and I think they just want to run the heck out of the ball. So if there are these crazy amounts of injuries, he's the number 3 guy on the depth chart. If he gets a shot, I think he can do some things. That's all I'm saying.
Is he number 3? I was going to ask that. Is it him or Damian Martinez?
It's him. Damian Martinez got cut and put on the practice squad and then released from the practice squad.
Oh, dang.
So it is him.
Rich, here we go. Name the rookie that will have the most dynasty value in the offseason of 2027. What is your first guess?
First answer out of Team Dotson over here. We're going to go Teteroa McMillan.
Tet McMillan is on the board as the 7th answer. So the lowest scoring value.
Yeah.
He gets 4 points.
Yeah, let's just get out of the way, Ashton Genty.
All right, Ashton Genty, highest scoring response here. And that is worth 52. Ooh. 52. So over half the people picked Ashton Genty.
And my answer is Trevion Henderson.
Trevion Henderson is 5th off the board. So you have the first response, the 5th response, and the 7th response. So still 4 out there. No strikes yet. You've been perfect.
Number 4 guess is got to be the guy everybody's taking at number 2. And everybody takes number 2s in life. Don't lie. Omarion Hampton on the board.
Omarion Hampton is number 3. We're still looking for 2, 4, and 6. Rich, what's your next guess?
Number 2 answer on the board.
Okay,
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter
is in fact the number 2 answer on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, what's your last 2 guesses?
I think some people are out there that were in the beginning of the season very high on this person. They loved him. They wanted to coddle him. They said he was better than a lot of other guys. And that answer is Caleb Johnson.
We have our first strike on the board here, Rich. Caleb Johnson, not one of the responses.
Show me the number 1 overall pick, a guy who has looked good in OTAs, which OTAs mean jack diddly squat. But go ahead and throw him on the board anyways, Garrett. Show me CW Cam Ward.
Cam Ward is the number 6 answer on the board.
Can't believe I took Caleb Johnson. Oh man. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna go on the board here, and I'm gonna say, let's just get out of the way because there's no way I'm not guessing this guy. And too many people know that listen to this show, and everybody agrees with me more than agree with everybody else. Because the simple fact is, fellas, that I am right as equally as you are, but I talk more. So I tell the pervy jokes. So everybody's listening to me, and that guy has 2 letters for a first name, and the last name begins with an H. It is R.J. Harvey. And by Garrett's face, I feel like
It is not RJ Harvey.
It is not RJ Harvey.
And I'm going to go Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren is incorrect. Matt,
For the
you
win.
are
For the
up.
steal.
Can you steal?
There's still good options. This is hard. This is not as easy as one would think because there's Quinshon Junkins, there's Colton Loveland, there's Jackson Dart. It's super flex, tight end premium. I'm going to go Loveland. I'm going to go Colson Loveland for the steal.
I can't believe I forgot Quinshon Junkins. I can't believe it.
Well, it's a good thing you did because that is incorrect. The number 4 option, Emeka Abuka.
Dang it.
Number 4.
I believe Dalton Cade will be a top 8 fantasy football tight end this year. Patience was worth it. The third year of breakout is upon us. He will stay healthy, which has been his biggest hiccup. I think Kincaid is going to end up leading the team in targets, which has been a game plan all along, and it finally goes into effect. From what I've been hearing, what the Bills want to do with Dalton Kincaid, I think this is the year we kind of find to see it come to fruition.
David Njoku. Is there a path where he once again shows that he can be a top tier guy and we see not even just a tight end 1 season, but maybe even a top 3 tight end season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Stefanski's going back to his offense from 2 years ago, going to run a lot of 12 personnel. And David Njoku, who's literally gotten better from not only an NFL standpoint, but from a fantasy football standpoint, every single year. I think there's a really good chance that David Njoku could definitely eat up the middle. And definitely with a smart quarterback, like you said, if Joe Flacco gets in there, can really read and check down the defense and go to a second read, which I think would be Njoku. I think he's a great buy. I think he's a great add. I think to me, I feel more sure about him helping me be that tight end difference maker than a guy even like Sam Laporta. Next one is Kyron Williams will not be a running back 1 this season and never again. Dun, dun, dun. Listen, Kyron Williams got the extension, well-deserved. Very solid running back in a really good system. But really what, like looking back at his numbers and diving in, like he's really just been a product of like getting all the touches, right? 85% of the running back share last year alone. And we've seen what that could do. Kyron Williams, I don't think is a jag. I'm not saying it. I don't think he is. But we've seen what like that amount of touches can do for a running back. If you are just a jag and you can stay healthy, you're going to be a running back 1. I think with the emergence of all these young, talented running backs that we saw, other players have the potential to be healthy. I think it's really going to push Kyron down. He's had 2 great running back 1 seasons back to back. We know historically for a running back to be a running back 1 3 times. What is that, Garrett? Like under 20%, I think, somewhere around those lines.
Oh yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the numbers, but it's really tough to get that third one.
The third one's really, really tough. It's way easier to get the second one. So I just don't think Kyron's going to break that mold. And that we've seen the coaches already come out and say, hey, we just signed him an extension. We kind of want to ease him back a little bit. They spent that 4th round pick. They moved up to get Jarquez Hunter. This is a player that we saw they were really excited about. They spent a higher pick on Blake Corum the year before. But I do think Jarquez Hunter is somebody they liked more than Blake Corum. So for me, looking at a team that doesn't really, the Rams don't target the running back in the passing game a lot. If you look back historically, they're one of the lowest teams in the NFL that targets their running back in the passing game. So that's going to hurt him if he doesn't get that lion's share of touches. Do I think he falls like on his face? Absolutely not. I think he's a solid running back 2, potentially very high end running back 2, but I don't think he's going to be a running back 1 this season. And the bull part is, I don't think he'll ever be a running back 1 again.
We have NFL football tomorrow. We are that close, my friend. So we are doing an extra episode of Roster Rescue. We weren't able to do it on Monday because, well, it was Labor Day and we didn't want to. But here we are on Wednesday, and we wanted to make sure we got these last few roster rescues in before the start of the season. So I'm here, your host, Garrett Price, here with my good friend, Taylor Christensen. Taylor, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so excited. I've been counting down for like over 100 days now since we've really had anything significant, and I'm so excited for what we've got going on the website. So I'm excited to be here, excited to get going.
Lots of good stuff. Pete, how are you doing, buddy? How you feeling?
Oh man, I feel so good. I just got done eating beans, tuna, and a donut, a cream-filled chocolate donut. So I am ready.
So I actually was talking to Pete on the phone while he was eating his beans and tuna, and I did not know about the donut though. That is quite the trio.
Yeah. Well, carbs are lacking.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh man,
This is
beans.
I don't know
and
what's
tuna.
happening.
At least you had the donut. I mean, I'll give you credit for the donut. Something just went live. What was that, Garrett?
yeah.
I think that might be our lineup optimizer. Is that what that is, Pete?
Yeah. Well, so it's almost week 1, or it is week 1. So now it's time to win your leagues. So should we just look at it really fast right now? Just kind of
throw
go
it up
over
there. Let's throw it up there.
Hey, I might be throwing up in a couple minutes. Who knows?
That's what I would be doing.
Okay, so here's what we got. We got our checklist. Oh, Garrett's gone. There he
I
is.
added myself because you didn't want to.
Well, continue, Garrett.
All right. So here we have our checklist here. And you can see, hey, look, there's some changes that need to be made in your lineup. So let's click one of these. All right. It says there's 4 changes to be made in your lineup. Now, some of these, you might say like, okay, it's silly. Why would I switch Pat Mahomes? Go back up to the top. Why would I switch Pat Mahomes for Jaden Daniels if then in my super flex spot, it's just going to be the opposite guy? Here's the reason you do that. It's because of the start times. If for some reason something were to happen between Friday night and Saturday or Sunday when the Washington Commanders play, you're not locked into your quarterback being in the super flex spot. Your quarterback, Pat Mahomes, was already in the quarterback spot. So you flip it just in case something crazy happens. Now, likelihood, very, very small, but it offers you more flexibility in that type of scenario. So it kind of shows you some little things like that. So these ones are minor tweaks, more based on start times and things like that, but it's good to know. We also will tell you like, hey, there's somebody that we project higher in your lineup that you are not starting. And here's an example of that right now. In the active lineup, we have Dalton Kincaid. We're saying, hey, maybe put Kyle Pitts in instead. He might be a little bit better, although it looks like they are really, really close.
It must be down to the 100th, or is that the 10th? 100th.
Yeah,
point.
the 100th. And then you could see we project Caleb Williams slightly above Tua this week. So you can do these things to kind of help get your roster and your lineup ready for week 1. So there it is, guys. There it is. Mike says 1 QB. His running back is Travion, Jonathan Taylor, Judkins, Ford, Ray Davis, Blake Corum. His picks, he has 226 first lotto picks and a late. Okay, so I think that means he has 326 first. Am I understanding that right?
No, one is a lotto pick, which means whatever.
And one's a late.
4,
Okay.
and the other one will
So
be
just 2.
Yeah.
Got it. 2027, 3 first, all lotto. Trade my 26 late first and Blake Corum for Kamara, or use my 226 first to move up for Jordan Love during 2026. So part of this is going to depend on your team needs, but ultimately, I would always rather. Well, actually, wait, it's a 1 QB. Oh, Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love is who he's talking about. He's talking about the next year's class.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then this absolutely depends on where you're at. Are you a team that you think could win it this year if you're more solid at the running back position? If so, make the move to get the guy that you think can do it. Now, I do have some concerns about Kamara this year. I do worry that maybe that offense is just going to be so bad that he might not have another RB1 season. But I would rather risk it and try to win a ship than just say, oh, what if I would have made that move? So I would probably be inclined to trade that late first in Corum for Kamara. But what do you think there, Taylor?
Man, I hate to be the guy on the other side of the aisle, but the reason why I would maybe hold off on making this deal right now, I think that you're going to be able to trade a first for Kamara, even if he has a good first 2 weeks. I don't think his price is going to get substantially higher than a first and a backup running back. I think that's kind of paying for what you're expecting his production to be. You have Travion, you have JT, you have Ford to get you through the first few weeks, see how it goes. Judkins comes back, you've got some real firepower. If not, you can always flip JT. You can maybe trade Ford if you know Judkins isn't coming back, if your season's off to a terrible start. I think you can still liquidate and prepare for a Jeremiah Love type move in 2026. So I don't hate the move, and I'm maybe okay with making that trade as it is, but I don't think you have to make it right now because you don't need Kamara week 1. You can see how things go. So I would be a little hesitant to give up a first for Kamara when maybe you could just turn around and get Kenneth Walker for a first. I'd rather do that.
I would think Kenneth Walker is going to be just as expensive, if not more, because of the age. But maybe it's always worth a shot to see. But what I like that you just said, though, is that you don't think you need him right away, which means you have supreme confidence in Travion Henderson week 1 out of the gate, right?
I think he's going to get his touches and he'll be efficient, and all it takes is 1 to the house, and he's a great RB2, right? Yeah.
I love it. No, that makes me feel good because that was my concern is like, do we worry a little bit about like, how does the workload work out the first few weeks? You know, I feel really confident in Travion by like week 5 or 6. I'm worried about week 1, but you gave me an extra boost of confidence today. So I appreciate that, Taylor.
That's what I'm here for. Don't ask me about Omarion Hampton, though.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see if Najee Harris can even see his way into the backfield or not.
But
But
I think that's oh yeah, never mind. I was gonna make a joke on that, and I realized you just did. Okay,
beat you to it. Yeah. It was a subtle one.
Set up. Yeah, that was good.
You like that?
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of that. You know what that sound means? It means that we have a nuke on our hands. So let's take a look at this team. This is a super flex tight end premium team here. We have Bed Bath and Bijan here.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad. Not too bad. That is one thing that's fun about this show. I also do like some like private podcasts where I go through like leagues and stuff like that. It is fun to see all the creative names, and then sometimes the lack thereof creativity. Like one league I did like a show on, and there were 3 teams that had the number 69 in it. 3 teams in the same league. Like, come on, guys.
Now that's what I would call a coincidence.
Yeah. Wow. Just random luck. We were all choosing random numbers.
And I think they were all the same age. They were born in 1969.
That's what it was.
That's
That
what
must
brought
have been
them
there.
together.
Yep. Just a bunch of old dudes playing fantasy football. All right. So Bed Bath and Beyond, Superflex tight end premium. We have Caleb Williams, Tua, Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, Tyrod Taylor. Running back wise, Bijan, Brees, James Cook, J.K. Dobbins, Jordan James, Brashard Smith, Kareem Hunt. That's about it. Wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Xavier Legette, Romeo Dobbs, and then at tight end, Dalton Kincaid and Kyle Pitts. This team is all in. They have moved basically all of their draft capital in 26 and 27 to put them here. They are ranked third in dynasty mode. Where are they at in contender, Pete?
Blind rank. Where's he going to be at? Where do you guys think?
Sorry, I had to sneeze in the middle of that. I am going to say fourth.
Okay. Third.
Stayed exactly in the same spot. So Taylor, you're looking at this team here. We've got some superstars on this team. We also have some question marks in this roster that kind of keep it from being a top tier team. But our draft capital is pretty much depleted unless we want to dip into 2028, which is tough to do preseason. So, Taylor, what kind of moves are you making to help get this team in tip-top shape for week 1?
I think that we are in a great spot as far as contending goes. I wish we had some picks left. If we're giving up all of our futures for the next 2 years, I would expect to be in the top 2 as a contender. But we're close. I mean, the difference between 2 and 3 isn't that much, but we still got a big jump to reach our top competition. So I think we need to make a few moves if we can. The first thing that sticks out to me is from this season. I think having Dalton Kincaid as a real heavy contender might be underselling ourselves a little bit. I think I'd prefer to upgrade him to somebody who's more likely to have a good 2025 than a dynasty asset, let's say. And I also think with our wide receiver room, we have a lot of guys who have similar production, but different valuations. Maybe we can try liquidate one of them to help make a move. So I looked through some of these teams before we got started. The first one that came out is actually the second team in contender mode, which I don't love trading with our own competition. You want to click on the second one, Pete? So they have, oh shoot, sorry, now I'm wrong.
Really fast. Also, one of his, I don't want to divert it too much, but what his biggest question is currently, he feels like he is not there yet at quarterback. Yep. Should he upgrade, or is that what you're looking at?
So yeah, so go to the fourth team.
Okay.
So they have Dak, and they have, if you scroll down, they have Jalen Waddle, and they have TJ Hawkinson behind Sam Laporta. So I'm wondering, can we trade them to get Dak and Jalen Waddle and TJ Hawkinson and give up, say, one of our, like Garrett Wilson? Can we give up someone with more dynasty value to get something like that done?
I was almost with you for a second because I love getting TJ Hawkinson. I love getting Dak Prescott. Here's where you lost me a little bit. I feel like Jalen Waddle would just now be another player in that same group of receivers that we kind of already have. I think this offers an opportunity to maybe offload Tua since he has Jalen Waddle. And that might be a way to kind of get a deal potentially done here. So I think that's the route that I would be looking to go.
Yeah, I like that. I think I was getting a little bit greedy, wanting to have my cake and eat it too with the double stack. But I agree with you. So can we move? Let's see. We got Tua. Are you going to try and trade Kincaid or Pitts to try and get Hawkinson?
Yes. Whatever one he wants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just. Yep. Go ahead.
This is a really interesting league when it comes to trading. I'm looking at their trade history right now, and like Jonathan Taylor got traded for a 26th first and a 27th third.
Oh wow, that's great value.
And then Nick Chubb got traded for a 2026 second. So it's like the values there. Weird. Yeah. So that's just a little bit context. There's a lot of trades too. So it's a very active league.
That's great news. So if that's the case, I don't think Tua and whatever tight end that is going to be quite enough. I think we're going to have
DK, and they have Aaron Rodgers. So do we want to flip DK over and take a lesser receiver from him? Do you think Olave would get it done? I don't know. If some people like Olave a lot. So even though he's lower on our calculator, some people think he's still elite. But I think maybe DK is the other piece we can move, because right now he's starting for us. But what's the difference between DK and George Pickens if we have Dak Prescott?
Yeah, very, very little.
We'd
Very
rather
little.
start Pickens, really. So the problem is they don't have any draft capital either.
Yeah. Can you go back to that other team real quick, Pete?
Yes. Number 4.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out another. I feel like this trade is getting too large. But I'm also in the boat of like wanting to potentially move Brees. But once again, I'm torn because Brees, I'm worried, will not help us contend this year. But I do think his value will spike again because I don't think he's going to be part of the Jets. And so I do want Brees Hall, but I do worry about his value for this year. So let's set him aside for a second because I think I'm getting ahead of my skis here a little bit on him. So TJ Hawkinson, Dak Prescott for Tua, Kincaid, and DK Metcalf. I think that's a decently fair trade overall. It would be nice to get a little something back. Like maybe I can try to see if I can get an Ollie Gordon back. Doesn't even have to be a receiver. Can I just get something else little back that I like that has some upside? That would be what I would be trying to do, because right now I think most teams would be looking at that and say, I'm downgrading at quarterback and I'm downgrading at tight end. I would need DK Metcalf to make up for that.
Yeah. I would maybe ask for Pacheco, just because he's so far from his starting lineup that maybe he would be devaluing him and he might bite or say, yeah, fine, but then you got to throw in someone. But I'm with you. Ollie Gordon, he doesn't have any other picks to ask for, but I think you should ask for something back.
Yeah, and even if it's I'm with you, I'd be fine with Pacheco, or hey, I like Swift and Pacheco, whoever you like less.
Ask for Shador. Ask for Shador and see if he gives you Shador Sanders. That's what I would do.
You can try. I don't know.
I'm a big, you know me by now. If I'm excited about Travion Henderson, I'm even more excited about Shador once he gets on there. That is true.
Yeah, so I think that's always good to be excited about Browns quarterbacks.
It's worked out for the rest of you guys. Yeah.
Wrong. Looking at our running backs here, so let's say we can make that trade. I think we're in way better shape. I think Dak Prescott has a huge year. I think TJ Hawkinson's a great guy. Yeah, we lose DK Metcalf, but he's risky in his own right. So I have no issue doing that. Let's look at our running backs, Pete. Can you go back to our running backs here? Because right now, obviously Bijan's an absolute stud. But I do worry that James Cook and Brees Hall are both guys that I'm nervous about. Could they have good seasons? Yeah, but both of them just give me like nervous energy. I don't know what to do about it.
Did you hear about Elijah Vera Tucker today?
I did hear that. Is
so
it for
bad.
sure? Is he done for the year?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it was like an arm injury or something, which is weird. So I wonder if he jacked up a shoulder or maybe a torn pec or something. I don't know, but
it's all significant. So it's like, yeah.
So I do want Brees Hall back because I do think better days are ahead. But if I'm contending, I don't feel safe right now in my RB2 spot. Am I overthinking it, Taylor?
I think it's better than what you're painting it as. We at least have J.K. Dobbins, who's another starter. So even if you don't like those two guys, we've even got another option who could be, like flirting with that teens range of a weekly finish. So I don't know if we need to make a major move, but I think you could maybe do some swapping. If you like guys in that same tier and you want to go out and find someone who you believe more in, like a Josh Jacobs, if you're onto him, something like that, I think
that's kind of what I was thinking was, can we get somebody that's a little bit more steady, a little bit more solid? I think that's a great example. Jonathan Taylor would be another guy I'd be really interested in, even if it's we have to give our newly acquired running back with him. Okay, take Brees Hall and Isaiah Pacheco and DeAndre Swift. To like try to get that deal done. Taylor would be another one I'd be very interested in. Are there some running backs out there on some of these lower tier teams, Pete, that are up for grabs potentially? No. All right, Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, yeah.
I think this team, and I think you could sell the 2-for-1 pretty easily with that team and just say, hey, I noticed that you only have one running back right now. I give you Brees and Pacheco. Would that get it done? And I'd feel a lot better about my running back room in that case to win this year anyway.
So what would the trade be?
Brees and Pacheco for Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
I don't know if you need to give Pacheco to get Josh Jacobs. I think
Maybe not. And if not, that's awesome.
So is that expecting the Pacheco trade to go through? Because we don't have Pacheco.
Correct. That was expecting that trade to go through. Yeah, if you can do it straight up, that's awesome. If I'm the Josh Jacobs owner, I would want more personally.
I think I would go to the Josh Jacobs owner and just send them a message and say, hey, sounds like Brees might have a down year, but we all know he's going to come back. Jacobs is on the downswing. Did you want to do a swap? It doesn't look like you're contending this year. That's what I would say.
The good old, hey, your player sucks.
That's
trade,
no,
not him away, Elio.
Your guy is going to go off this year.
That is the worst way. That. Hey, we all know that Brees Hall is going to come back, and the guy that I want, he's.
Here's the thing. I'm planting a seed because I want Garrett to trade me Drake May for Jordan Love in a league, and that's the exact same situation where Jordan Love is going to crush this year. And Drake May is going to have a down year, so he doesn't want to get stuck holding Drake May this year.
You're talking to like the biggest Drake May truther. It's
not my fault.
And his ADP is like a round and a half higher.
That's fine. Let's get back to the customers here. Let's make sure that we're taking care of our guys here. So this is a nuke. Tyler, you definitely have some moves you can make. There's one other guy that I want to point out if you can't get a deal for Jacobs, and that would be the fifth team, Brock Sember. So look at the amount of running backs they have, and they just received great news that Jaylen Warren is going to be a starting running back for the first however many weeks, supposedly. So I would go after Kenneth Walker is where I'm headed with this. I don't know what difference James Cook and Kenneth Walker have, but if I can get a plus onto Kenneth Walker for my James Cook, I think I would heavily consider that. This person actually has draft capital. They have some extra second. So maybe you could get something like that done and just do a swap out for Cook and Walker.
Also, side note, our friend Tyler, he did a trade that I think is what you call the I'm really bored and I want to do a trade. Nice. He traded Naylor and a 2026 third for Tutu Atwell.
To each his own. Is this a best ball league?
No.
Okay.
That's a third too much in that deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't do those trades. Tyler, I noticed you really like trading away picks. You traded last year. You traded 3 firsts for George Pickens, Devonta Smith, and J.K. Dobbins. I wouldn't say that I love that trade.
What was the trade?
3 firsts.
3 firsts for George Pickens, Devonta Smith, and J.K. Dobbins. If that's what you're in this league, especially where like Jonathan Taylor goes for a 26 first, play a little bit more conservative with your picks because
absolutely, and that's a good time where like I never want to hold it as gospel truth, but that's a good time to like take a look at some trade calculators too. Obviously we have one. There's KTC, DTC, like there's a bunch of different ones out there. Use a trade calculator and some of those to kind of help, because individually, I don't think any one of those players is worth a first. Maybe George Pickens might be worth a first, but like outside of that, so that should have probably been a first and a second type trade, maybe a first, second, and third type of trade for those three guys. That's quite a bit too much.
But definitely championship team. But if we played that a little bit better last year, we could have been a lot better. So just keep track of that.
All right. So in this scenario, we now have Dak Prescott. We have TJ Hawkinson at tight end. So we've shored up the biggest two holes. We have some possibilities out there of James Cook, Kenneth Walker. I'm with you, Taylor. I'm open to Kenneth Walker for James Cook. It's a pretty lateral move. One guy's big like touchdown regression risk. The other guy's big injury risk. So it's like, which risk do you dislike more? I guess. Yeah. What would be kind of that one for me? Go back down to our receivers. I'm trying to remember who we have. I know we have Malik. Who else do we have? Garrett Wilson. Now it'd be George Pickens, Devonta Smith. Yeah, so we're in pretty good shape there. We didn't ever end up getting a receiver back. So I would be open to like, hey, where's the old guy Stephon Diggs? Where's the old guy Calvin Ridley? Where's the old guy? Like one of those players. If we move George Pickens or DK Metcalf and don't get anything back, I would like to have a fifth receiver for bye weeks or injuries, just to have it in case I need it. Because once injuries happen and you start to get desperate, people smell that and they jack up the prices for everything.
Yep, I agree. You can probably drop Deontay Johnson.
Yep, you could probably drop him. Honestly, you could probably drop Tutu Atwell, who you just traded for. Javon Baker got cut. You can drop him. Jonathan Mingo, you can cut him. So
the thing is, there's not really anyone on their waivers. I mean, you can pick up like Kamani Vidal if you really want to take a swing, but like they don't have anyone on their waivers.
All right, that's fair.
So,
yeah, this is a really interesting trade.
Do we want to optimize their week one lineup, Pete?
Yeah. Side note though, Trey McBride, I don't see which 25 picks this is, okay? But they gave up a 2025 first, a 2025 second, and a 2026 second. And in return, they got a 2025 first, a third, and Trey McBride.
Oh, wow. So we don't know the exact spot of those picks, but say it again.
So a second, a first, and another second. So 2 seconds and a first. And the other person received, Trey McBride, a 25 first and a third.
I wonder if that was like a trade up to get like Ashton Genty or something like that. Like, hey, move back to 9. I want Ashton Genty. I'll give you Trey McBride to like split the difference kind of thing. I wonder if it was something like that. But either way, as long as you were still in the first round, that was probably a pretty good deal.
Yep.
It's Genty. That's a pretty close deal, I think, depending on. But other than that, it's too much. Anything else than that is crazy.
Robert says we were 3 dogs. Taylor, you would be a golden retriever. I would be a Frenchie. Honestly, I don't know dogs that well. Is that a French? Like, is that a bulldog? What is that? What's a Frenchie?
Like a French poodle.
Oh, a French poodle.
Those are smart.
Hey, I'm all fluffy.
And hyperallergenic.
You are a wiener dog.
Hey.
So there you go.
I like.
There we
like
go.
Australian Shepherd.
Yeah, Sedated Fork. By the way, great to meet Sedated Fork. It was awesome.
Yep.
Getting to see the face behind the Avi there. So thanks for coming to the expo.
Come to find out, he's a big board game guy as well. That's how you know he's a good
Okay.
dude.
So the only moves we have is that Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
Maybe who are you starting in this week? Are you starting Kincaid or Pitts?
I would probably both games could be real shootouts.
I gotta go with the quarterback.
What's that?
I have to go with the quarterback here.
Shakir's still got the high ankle bothering him, right? So maybe Kincaid gets a couple more underneath targets.
Man, but I just remember the last time Tampa Bay and Atlanta got together. That game was what, like triple overtime, or not triple overtime, but it was an overtime game where Cousins threw for like 500 some yards, and like it was just
you just said it.
Well,
What?
we don't know who
Cousins.
our competition is. If the person you're playing against is one of the top 2 or 3 teams, then I think I take the swing with Pitts, like you're saying. But if you've got one of the bottom few teams, the safer play is Kincaid.
I think that's fair. But
I would keep Tua, though.
You would keep Tua?
I would. I mean, he's got everyone back, and he knows the system and everything. We don't know what Williams is going to look like the first game out. So, yeah. The Dolphins always come out hot. They have all season to come up with offense.
They do
Then
always
they
come
run
out
out
week
of steam
1
after like week 7, and then they suck.
All right, that's fair. I'll give you that. I would still be tempted to start Williams though.
Well, this is a great promo for our optimizer.
There you go.
Well, these numbers are almost the same, so it's like, of course, we're debating.
They're coin flips, and also these won't matter because you're making a trade for Dak Prescott, who you're starting, and you're making a trade for T.J. Hawkinson, who you're starting.
That's why we're doing it.
Done. All right, on to the next.
Okay, I am getting that set up. So this is a contract league, but he is totally good. This is Jacob's team, and he is just good with us talking about just how we would talk about
in
any
generalities.
other-
Okay, yeah, because contracts are tough. Like, okay, Pat Mahomes with a 3-year deal worth 40% of my total salary. Like, that could be very convoluted, and you almost need to sit down and like write these things out. So those ones are much harder because there's a lot of math involved to try to figure out where the value is on those kind of leagues. But I like tip of the cap here with this super flex league because we've got a pretty nice looking squad. Quarterbacks, we've got Jaden Daniels, Pat Mahomes, and Geno Smith to go along with Daniel Jones. So 4 starting quarterbacks in this 10-team league. Running back wise, Devon Achane, Omarion Hampton, DeAndre Swift, Cam Scatterboot, Tyrone Tracy. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Emeka Ibuka, Xavier Legette, Juwan Jennings, and at tight end, Tucker Kraft, Jake Ferguson, and Travis Kelce. This team has moved most of their significant 26 picks, but we do have our 27, or actually someone else's 27 first, which probably any other teams is going to be better than ours. Yeah. So that's not a bad move. Right now, we are currently in first place in dynasty mode, but we are in second place.
That's
in
surprising.
Contender mode. So, but we are right there. It is neck and neck between those two teams. And honestly, where it seems like you're losing maybe slightly is he has a few more points at the total quarterback spots. But look, you can only start 2 of them. And for us, we have 2 really good starting quarterbacks. So I think we actually have the slight edge starting lineup wise over that other team personally. So looking at this team here, it is, even though it's only a 10-man league, Taylor, it is a, what are we starting here? 10, 11?
Start 11.
Yep. Yeah, so 11. So it's a pretty deep starting lineup here. I feel really good about our quarterback situation. We've got a lot of tight ends to choose from. None of them are elite, but all good upside, especially without Rashee Rice. Feel good about Travis Kelce. I feel good about our starting 4 receivers. It's this running back room that scares me a little bit. Obviously, Devon Achane's a stud, and we feel good long-term about Omarion Hampton. But after that, there's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, I think that we should try to turn Swift and Tracy into older guys like Aaron Jones and James Conner. Try to get something that's more reliable for this season, but doesn't really have much upside because we have so many other players on here that we can liquidate. This is a contracts league, so chances are you probably have to sell someone of a good contract to get what we're talking about. So I can't necessarily speak to who we give away to make everything work out, but I think my goal is to turn Swift and Tracy into those older veterans and maybe just take a risk that Scatteraboo is able to come in and take that job over. So we keep him in our back pocket, like a potential starting running back, but we are not at all counting on him for this season. Like an example, if I can trade DeAndre Swift for Jalen Warren and a plus, I'm going to make that move right now, because I think the difference between Swift and Warren isn't going to be that much for this season. And if there's a plus to be had, then you can use that plus with your other running back, Tracy, to then get a better echelon. So it's like, where can I turn these two guys who are both middling into actual production is what I'm most interested in.
I hear you on. I'd be fine with getting the plus, but I like your first thought better, where I want assets to win this year. So I don't know that Jalen Warren helps me win this year. So I would rather go the Aaron Jones route. Swift, I don't mind. I think he could still be okay this year. But specifically Tyrone Tracy, I'd be looking to go that route. But I want to get a little philosophical here for a second, if that's okay, Taylor.
Yeah.
When I think about game theory, my view in 10-team leagues is different than it is in 12-team leagues. Even though picks are slightly more valuable in the sense of they're a little bit higher, especially, your late firsts are not as late as they would be in a 12-team league. Those early seconds are a little bit higher. So there's some good value there. In a 10-team league, my odds have already gone up by 2 teams because they're just not there. My odds of winning have just gotten better just because my league is only 10 versus 12. So I am much more apt if I'm in a contending window, and obviously right now this team is clearly in a contending window. I am much more apt to say, hey, when I need to pull the plug and blow it up, I'll blow it up. But I'm pushing all my chips in because right now I only have to beat 9 other teams. And looking at this here, you really only have to beat 4 other teams because half your league is either not knowing what they're doing or they're in rebuild. So right now I only have to beat 4 teams, and I already think I'm as good or better than all of those teams. So if that's the case, look, I hate to give up on 2027. It's going to be an amazing class. But if that's what it takes to get me that next tier of an asset where I get to pair DeAndre Swift with my first, and now is probably not, but is Jonathan Taylor on the table even? Is, Kenneth Walker looked like he was available. Okay. I could probably get maybe even something back if I gave Swift and a first. Like I might even be able to get something back, or I wouldn't have to give him. Maybe I'll just give the first and Tyrone Tracy. And now Kenneth Walker is my third running back and DeAndre Swift's my fourth. I feel much better about him as my fourth running back than I do my third. So I am much more willing to play it a little fast and loose with my draft picks in a 10-team league because I already know that my odds to win it have increased. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. I think there's a lot higher premium on those first 3 or 4 picks in the first round.
Yes.
And a lot of times you'll see trades that have more value, like 2 future firsts for one of those firsts than you would in a 12-team league. So I think it makes a lot of sense to treat it differently. To that point, you want to use your first with Swift to kind of go up and get an upper echelon running back. I was hoping that we could use our first to go up there and get like Trey McBride or
I'd be open to that as well.
Or I mean, maybe just for Kittle straight up if we need to. But like we have Kelsey, Kraft, and Ferguson, which are all fine. But in a 10-team league, you need them to be in the top 5 every week.
You want a difference maker.
Yeah, it's got to be reliably elite. And I don't think Kelsey's there anymore. And both Ferguson and Kraft for me, that's just not the level that they're going to reach in their offenses. So I would like to use our first. Can I go on it? Can I get McBride? And if not, can I get Kittle? So
what tight end does Team 9 have? Because it looks like they've got a good tight end.
The nice thing is
Kittle.
that Team 1 has Johnny Smith and Likely. So we're kind of whoever gets a tight end.
So like Kittle is going to be expensive in a contracts league, most likely because he'll be on his second or third time being managed. So his contract's likely to be higher. But depending on, I'm assuming McBride's still on his rookie contract, so his cost might be a lot lower. So that's the difference when you're making these trades is, which
You're
one
gonna
can
have
I
to pay
actually...
more for the better contract.
Right. Yeah. But like Swift might have a higher contract. So maybe you can swap Swift and Kelsey and a first and get Kittle and something to make up the difference in the contracts. And then
Go back to that Kittle team, Pete, because I want to see their entire roster.
Godwin. Maybe you can get Godwin.
Tony Pollard.
Pollard would be nice.
Pollard would be nice. So, especially if we convince this team that, like, hey, I know by moving George Kittle, you're kind of going into rebuild. Honestly, if that's the case, I'm going to shoot for the stars. If I'm convincing him, because if he thinks he can win it, he's not going to move Kittle. There's no reason for him to move Kittle. But we've got to convince him he's not. So if that's the case, Taylor, let's find a route. Can we get Kittle and McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Because then now we've all but assured ourselves of a championship. Like, we've given ourselves every possible chance to win the ship. And that's what you got to do. Like, sometimes you have to push all those chips in. So going back to our team, Pete, like, we would have to obviously give up. We'd have to give up a running back. And look, even if it's Cam Scatterbo because he wants a young running back. Okay. I'll give Scatterbo and I'll give him Tyrone Tracy. You can have the whole backfield. He would probably, obviously, he'd want a tight end. He's going to want a younger guy if he's rebuilding. Tucker Kraft. That means Tucker Kraft's out the door. Okay. Oh, darn. But it is what it is. So Tucker Kraft's out the door. Now we've got to look at our draft picks. First round pick in 27 is for sure going to be gone.
Yep.
And then what else do you think we would need, Taylor, to get McCaffrey and Kittle? If we gave him Kraft, Cam Scatterbo, and Tyrone Tracy, so he gets the whole backfield, and that's young, and we give him a 27 first, how far off do you think we are?
I think in value we're getting there, but I'm wondering how the contracts... I don't know how the contracts are going to work out. So that's
let's just erase those for now, because there's no way we're going to know.
I think you'd have to do Swift. I just want to add, I think you'd have to do Swift instead of the Giants backfield, because Swift's going to be on his second contract. So his one contract is likely to cost more than both.
If you can make it work.
Cool. So I mean, just whatever. But yeah, swap out one set of starting running backs or running back plus a first plus Kraft. And I think what we need to look at is
Pete, let's go to the calculator.
That's a good idea. They might want to think about Patrick Mahomes in a deal because they have Worthy and we're sending them.
The team is named after Kittle.
Oh. That's just a name.
Team name.
They could say down, or it's the Pits or something like that. They can come up with something else.
Okay. So it was. Let's switch to Dynasty.
Yeah,
value.
We're in contender mode.
Yeah, I was like, wow, those values seem really high. That makes more sense.
So Kraft, Swift, let's just throw in all four, and then our first.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have to throw in both the other backfields. Yeah.
So if it's Swift, we're a little off. He'll probably want the younger running backs, but you're right, the contract we don't know. But assuming contracts don't matter, I think Cam Scatterbo and Tyrone Tracy is what a rebuilding team would want. So if that's the case, though, or maybe we don't move any of them. Maybe they say screw running backs, remove Swift off the board, and let's just add 2 seconds.
Yeah. I think if you can get the money to work, this is a fantastic deal for the other manager as well. Like the other manager
shredding a bunch of contract money
should be welcoming a deal for these two players, given the rest of their roster. They're Rice out for 6 weeks. Godwin's out for who knows how long. Wandale is not a wide receiver 2 for anybody's team. Like this guy needs to trade these contracts. So if you're the first one to show up, you're probably going to get a discount.
Yeah, I think this is a slam dunk move because now if you're looking at your team, and let's say it does cost a first, 2 seconds in craft, that's expensive. It is. But that's the type of stuff you're going to have to give up in order to make that kind of deal happen. But then let's look at our team, though. If we're starting, if that's our team now we're looking at, Pete, can you scroll back up to the top, buddy?
Yep.
Jaden Daniels, Pat Mahomes. We're starting Devon Achane, Christian McCaffrey, Omarion Hampton, DeAndre Swift. Then at wide receiver, we're in the same exact spot we were before. And now we're starting George Kittle, who I think is going to get a butt ton of targets. And then if that's the case, now there's some little ancillary moves you can make. Now either Kelsey or Ferguson could easily be part of another deal to try to maybe get yourself another receiver or upgrade that one running back spot that you wanted to, or something like that. You can use those extra tight ends to make something happen. Obviously, keep one as a backup, but you can use the other one to try to make some moves, some little moves to improve your spot. But I love that deal personally.
Yep, I agree. I think we're set up for a really good run at it this year. And depending on how some of these players perform, you might find yourself with some easy wins on a weekly basis.
Love it, love it, love it.
So, Garrett.
Yes.
We have a couple things to announce. We're just announcing left and right.
That's
so
true.
we're having something. Actually, they both have to do with Friday. Do you want to talk about that?
We have 3 things to announce, actually, Pete.
3?
We have 3 new things.
Okay.
Not 1, not 2, but 3. So this Friday at 9 a.m. and I'll work with Pete. We'll tweet some stuff out about it. We are going to be doing a live stream Friday mornings in season. And the goal of it is going to be start sits, getting you ready for your week. So we're going to do a live stream probably about 9 to 10 every Friday morning. It's going to be myself and my guy, Andrew Mott. You've seen him here on Roster Rescue. He's been a part of a lot of our YouTube stuff lately. So yes, that we're going to be doing a live stream on Friday. Then also we're recording this Friday. I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, probably Fridays, but we're still working out some of the details. We are going to be having a weekly prospect show that is going to be coming to your airwaves. So that one will not be live. But that is going to be with myself and Jared Wackerly every week. And then we'll have a third person in there kind of rotating. Andrew will be in there. Another guy that's new that's a part of our team. Jagger May is going to be a part of that. So we're going to have a prospect show. So we're looking at what is this upcoming class looking like, breaking down the tiers of guys, things like that. But then it's also going to be digging into some of the college stuff. Okay, what are some of the upcoming classes look like? The recruiting classes. Like, who are some hidden gems, some small school guys? Like, we're going to be digging into the college game to get us ready, not only for 2026, but even beyond. So we're going to be doing that. So those are 2 big things. And then the third thing that's happening is on Mondays, we are going to be releasing an extra podcast and an extra show. That by the way, the college thing will come out in podcast form and on YouTube. But and we're also going to be doing a weekly Riser show on Monday. That'll be with myself, Rich Dotson, and Jagger May. We're going to be doing that on Mondays, and we're going to be talking about the players that gained the most value that week, and then, of course, who lost value, who got hurt, things like that. So kind of giving you an update of all the happenings, maybe giving you some waiver wire advice for those of you that are smaller rosters or more redraft inclined. So 3 new shows that we were not doing before that are going to be launching in season starting 2 days from now. So lots and lots and lots of new stuff. So I am really, really excited about all of this stuff. I'm tired just thinking about it, but I'm really excited. So it should be really fun. Pete, did I get everything covered?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to all 3. Specifically, I think with the I've been loving the roster rescues, but I do think that there is an element that we're focused on going through each one and doing as best of a job we can do. So I'm really looking forward to on the Friday live stream, like for some more interaction with you guys that are listening right now. I think that'll be really fun. reacting to the Thursday night game. I think it'll all be a blast, but I'm really excited for that. And yeah, just breaking more into prospects with, that's learning the names as early as you can on who to watch out for and kind of learning the backstories and stuff. That's going to put all of us. I'm really looking forward to editing those, because that's going to put me really ahead compared to my league mates, and it's just going to be a blast. Woo.
Absolutely. Lots of good stuff coming forward. So, Taylor, real quick, because we only have one more roster rescue to do, right, Pete?
Yep.
All right. So before we get to that last one, Taylor, I know you have a lot of stuff coming up in season here as well. Give us what's going on the writing side, because I've talked with you. I know that there's a lot of moving parts right now, but I'm excited even for some of the things I've already seen happen, but what's to come is even better.
So we have a lot of things planned for this coming season. We have 12 articles every week planned, and that's if nothing interesting happens. That's if there's no major shakeups in the league. That's if, everything goes according to plan. So we'll see how many it amounts to, but we're going to be bringing mock drafts for these prospects you're talking about every 2 weeks. So every other Monday we'll have at least 12, and starting soon we'll have 24 names for people to learn if you want to know how to spell them. A lot of different spellings for a lot of the same names this year. It's a good test for our writing staff. And the other things that we're really rolling out this year for people is not that we're focusing on DFS or on any sort of like prop betting, but we have content that is extremely helpful for that type of stuff. And if people are looking for any sort of background analytics, deeper dives into the stats that matter, if people are looking for quick cheat charts to be able to see which team's defense can I expect to score more fantasy points than average, we have that. We're going to have something every single day for in-season content, and we're going to have something every single day for dynasty content. So depending on which one you need, we're going to have something for both. So whether that's waivers, whether that is looking at the newest trends, how do we want to attack teams that are using a too high safety defense? How do we want to look at teams who are stacking the boxes early in games? Stuff like that. We're really digging into it this year. So be checking us out every morning at 9 is when the first article will drop. And the other one will come between 9 and noon, depending on what it is. So
nice. Love it, love it, love it. All right, Pete, let's get us to our final roster rescue.
Okay, this is from Rich. I'm assuming not our Rich, although
might be.
You never know. It's a new startup, Superflex. It's a full PPR plus 1 point extra for Titan Premium, so that's double PPR. 6 point passing touchdown. Rich tried Garrett's tried and true strategy for draft startup. And that's why he's putting it in for a roster rescue, I guess. Because what does that say about your tried and true strategy, man?
Well, when I see that his team's number one, that means it did pretty well.
That's true.
Yeah,
I didn't look there.
He tried to do there, but the proof is in the pudding. He has the best team on paper.
But just kind of confused on where to go from here.
Yeah.
Also,
so
really fast, Garrett, I'm sorry. Can you explain what your tried and true startup method is?
Yeah, it's extremely simplistic. Like, people want to make it out to be
what they called me in high school.
Yeah. People want to make this out to be like, so different and outside the box. It's simply just looking at my board, not the ADP, but looking at my board. Who is the best possible player I can take? And I take that player. I know it seems crazy. But that's literally what I do. But what happens is often we see, shoot, I'm 6 rounds in and I still don't have a running back. Okay. Shoot, I'm 8 rounds in and I still don't have a quarterback. Okay. Take the best player for that format on the board, and then you make deals later to try to figure out your needs. Because I don't want to take a lower tier player, because if I need to make a deal, I need to make a trade, I can't get that same level of player to try to trade for him later. I have to tier down. And so now I'm not getting as good of players and deals because I tiered down. I can go back later and get a higher tier player because I took higher tier players. So that's where we're at. And so he has 3 really good quarterbacks: Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott. Great spot. He also has both Indianapolis quarterbacks. So he's basically got a 4th starting quarterback regardless of who's the guy. Great spot to be in. Running backs: Bijan Robinson, stud. But then this is where this strategy can get a little tough at times. He didn't find value at running back after that. So now we have Jordan Mason, Ray Davis, Ollie Gordon, Jonathan Brooks, Marshawn Lloyd, Jarquez Hunter, Trevor Etienne, Taj Brooks, Ty Johnson. Okay, it is what it is. Wide receivers: Drake London, Travis Hunter, Brandon Ayuk, Darnell Mooney. And then at tight end, we have Trey McBride, and then Luke Musgrave and a few other guys. We also have all of our own draft assets still. So we're in a great spot there, plus an extra 2 second-round picks. So, yes, is the starting lineup not as pretty as we want it to be right now? Sure. But I love where this team is at. There is so many possibilities with this team. And going back to kind of the game theory stuff that I was talking about earlier, Taylor and I have talked about this before. In a startup is typically my favorite time to really push, because who else is good? Nobody's had a chance to build a super team yet. So if you can be the first one there are no giants in your way to succeed. You can be the first one there. You have extra draft capital and you have all your original draft capital. So I've talked a lot here, Taylor, but I want to see how you would attack this team now with this startup.
I'm glad that you're excited about his team, because I will agree with what you said as far as the best player available and wanting to make sure that you have as much dynasty value at the end of the draft. I'm not sure that we're in a place to contend with this roster for this first year. So I'm kind of thinking we need to do a productive struggle for the first season and then be ramping up to really kick it into gear for next year. And there's 2 reasons why I say that. One is our running back room, and the other is our wide receiver room. And the problem with the wide receivers isn't that we don't have talent. It's that Ayuk is not going to be starting for us week 1. And we're going to have Travis Hunter probably off to a slow rookie start. We have to basically find 2 starting wide receivers, and it looks like they have a lot of starters. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 starters in this league. So we need to get more assets, I think. We have a lot of value, but we need to break up some of those for more assets, or we can sell off the stuff that pops during the season and just amass as much value as we can get throughout the year, making sure that we're capitalizing each time we make a trade, and then
Pause real quick. Yes. Richard.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I would be hitting the accept button personally, but
yeah, I just hurt my finger thinking about it.
Hit accept, hit it all.
Yes.
So
that does kind of change the trajectory a little bit there, Taylor.
Well, it does. It definitely does as far as our contention ability, but I'm concerned about needing to fill out a 12-player roster. Mm-hmm. We gotta move one of our quarterbacks, I think, if we're gonna contend.
And I would agree with that. And I don't know where the rest of the league is on quarterbacks. You have some leagues that are very in on the quarterback. They're very savvy. There's others that are like, we'll figure it out. And you're not going to get the value that the quarterbacks are worth. So it kind of all depends on where your league is personally. But I mean, right there, we're already seeing teams that technically have 2 quarterbacks, but really only have 1 quarterback. So if this team, this is a perfect example right here, Baker Mayfield. This guy thinks he's a contender. He's got Baker, but he's also got Ashton Genty, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, Isaiah Pacheco. Like, he took as many starting running backs as he can. So he is all in, but he desperately needs a second quarterback. So, Taylor, and this is all going to depend on what direction we want to go, because I could go either way on this, Taylor, especially if we're making the T. Higgins move. I think we are good enough that we could potentially go all in. When you have somebody like a Bijan Robinson, that's an absolute difference maker. A Trey McBride is an absolute difference maker. So I think we could go all in. But I appreciate how young we are, and I'm fine maybe giving us one more year if we don't want to move our 26 first. So if that's the case, are you coming to this team here and are you trying to get your second running back? Or are you just kind of saying, I don't know if there's a deal that can be done because I don't want to get older running backs on my team right now?
Yeah, the more I look at it, especially if you like in contender mode, I don't think we have what it takes to get there, considering how many starters we need. We're sitting in 6th out of 12 right now. And a lot of that is just being elevated because of our quarterback situation. It's not actually in our starting lineup. So I have more of a tendency to trade away Dak Prescott in this situation, try to send him to the guy who's got Baker and Wilson, see if you can get like a first and something back. I think I'm not in like fire sale mode because we just had the draft, but I am looking to
if you're selling Dak, here's what I'm going to say. I'm not selling him today. I think Dak has a fantastic season this year. I think that he is going to be, I think there's a real shot at a top 6 season. They just trade away Micah Parsons. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton to stay in games. And they added George Pickens. So I think you're going to get more value in season than you will today out of Dak Prescott.
I think that's going to be the theme for all of these trades, honestly, because if you look at the players, you've got Ayuk, you've got Jordan Mason, Ollie Gordon, a lot of players that we think, or not we necessarily, but a lot of players that the fantasy space, especially 11 other managers, think may pop off at any time this season. Mm-hmm. So if there is a week where Ollie Gordon has 2 rushing touchdowns, then switch him, flop him out. To get what you can for him. That's what I would be doing with this roster, is just capitalizing
for what it's worth
long on trades.
People are already getting very high on Ollie Gordon. I actually just traded him in our Nerds app league. I traded him for a second, and I took him in the 4th. So now, could he end up being a stud? Sure. But traditionally, moving up 2 total rounds of value that quickly is a W. 85% of the time, I'm going to feel really good about that. There's a small chance that he's an absolute stud and they're splitting carries and he's great there. And I'm like, man, I could have gotten more. But I didn't lose value. Mm-hmm. I still gained value from my 4th round pick. So I'm with you, but you might even be able to get that today, depending on the team.
Yeah, that's true. But it's interesting because really the difference, you want Ollie Gordon to become David Montgomery. But even if you had David Montgomery, he's not worth much more than a second to most people. So it's like, even if he hits his ceiling for production, he's probably not going to become a first unless Achane like is out for the season or something. You know what I mean? Like there's just not that likelihood of capitalizing more than a second. So yeah, I think you take it when you can.
All right, so if that's the case with this team, does this team have any picks? Because we're not going after the running backs if we're not trying to push in chips for this year. So this team does still have all their picks. Now, we have to know if we are giving them a Dak Prescott, then they're going to be one of, if not the top team. And that needs to be part of your negotiation tactics. Like, dude, you're already 3rd in contender. I'm getting out of your way by sending you this move. So I'm making your life easier. And I can't just take Dak Prescott for the 12th pick. I need more. So I think that's part of my negotiation tactics there, is trying to get more assets than just the 1st.
Yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of players on their team that I'd be super interested in, but they do have like Ricky Pearsall. So maybe if he starts out slow, you could get him. You already have Ayuk, but it's like looking at their roster, they don't have a lot of players to shed other than at the running back position. So you kind of need to hope that you can get a first. Would you shoot for a 27 first and a 26 second for Dak? Is that where you're thinking you'd go?
I would be totally fine with that. And honestly, I would be fine for it in reverse as well. I like 27 more than I like 26, but I also don't think we're far away. So I would like to pick sooner rather than later. So I think the value's on one side, but the urgency's on the other side. So fine either way. Like I'm not going to make a big fuss about it on either side of that. Speaking of that team, though, if you can figure out a way to do Ricky Pearsall in a first, that's a dream scenario to me. And if you have to give up Brandon Ayuk to do it, okay, darn. But I'm not a huge believer long-term in Ayuk, but you can kind of pitch him as, hey, he's coming back. He's going to be healthy, blah, 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 blah. Fits your mold. I'll take this unproven guy off your hands.
Yep, I like that a lot. And I think the theme for any trade you make is going to be get more than you give as far as pieces go. So don't give 3 for 1. If you're doing a 3 for 3, see if you can get 3 for 4. Will they throw in a 4th round pick? Like, just try to get as many assets as you can because you're stretched pretty thin right now.
And the nice part about this too, Richard, before we wrap the show up here, the nice part about this too is waiting till in season to make these moves. You can also see exactly where your team is at. Yeah, it's only middle of the road contender right now, but crazy things happen sometimes. If Aaron Jones gets hurt, Jordan Mason's a very exciting running back all of a sudden. Travis Hunter, he was named a wide receiver 1, but a cornerback 2. So maybe he comes out guns blazing. Like, there are crazy things that could happen to where all of a sudden, if you're adding T. Higgins, which, by the way, if you have not done it yet, please do it right now. But if you're adding T. Higgins to this team, now all of a sudden I have T. Higgins and what was it, Drake London, I think?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm putting up some numbers because Drake London and T. Higgins plus Bijan and Trey McBride, that could be numbers real quick. So you now have the opportunity to kind of evaluate your team and see, okay, I actually maybe was a little better than I thought I was going to. Maybe I still move a quarterback, but maybe it's for different pieces other than picks than I originally anticipated. But overall, I think you did the right thing, the smart thing. As you can see, there's a reason you're number 1 in dynasty value. You gave yourself as much value as you possibly could. And now you make trades to build your team to win. So I think you did a great job.
He did a trade on July 29th.
Okay.
And this was the Drake London trade. And I just kind of wanted to see what you guys think about it. He gave up Ibuka, Burden, and Kyle Williams and got Drake London and Travis Etienne back.
Emeka Ibuka, Kyle Williams, and Luther Burden.
Yeah.
That's not enough for London.
Yeah, I didn't even hear what the other part was, but I would rather London than those 3 guys.
You got a free Travis
That's
Etienne.
a good trade.
Oh, you got
Trevor.
Etienne, yeah.
Oh,
Trevor.
Well, it's free, whatever he
Still,
got. But
yeah.
Yep. I like it. I think that's a good move.
Great moves.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you did not hear earlier, 3 new things coming out. Live show on Friday, a recorded college show on Friday. And then every single Monday, we will also be having a Risers and Fallers of the Week show. Really excited about all of the extra content coming out. If you guys haven't already, make sure you're liking all of our stuff. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing. And we will see you guys Friday morning.